Today I'm going to show you how we're going to crochet the double crochet. So this is what it looks like when you crochet through both loops. Then when you crochet through the back loop, again with the ribbing, and it's more pronounced since the stitches are bigger with double crochet. And then this is how you crochet through the front loops, and again you get the airiness and you get these long lines down here. So we're going to start off crocheting through both loops. So again, we grab our hook, we're going to put a slip stitch on our hook, and then I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to chain 12. Okay, now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go into the third chain from the hook. So we've got the one that's attached, 1, 2, 3, and down here. I'm going to wrap my yarn around first, and then I'm going to go into the stitch and pull up a loop. So now there are 3 loops on my hook. I'm going to wrap around and go through 2, and then go through the last 2. And I've just made a double crochet. Now I'm going to wrap around again, and then you see how we're stretched out, so we're not going to go in the one that's stretched out, we're going to go in the next one. Bring up a loop for 3, go through 2, and go through the last 2. And we're going to do this all the way across. In, pull up 1, go through 2, and the last 2. And you see my work is starting to curl, so I'm just going to kind of push it back to straighten it. And then I have to do one more. And we don't go into the stitch by the slip knot. So these are easier to count because the stitches are so much bigger. So we go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So we still have 9. Now, depending on the pattern, they'll either have you do a turning chain of 2 or 3. So I'm going to chain 2. And then I'm going to turn my work, and again we just flip it to the left. If your pattern says that the turning chain, which is what we just did, counts as a stitch, you do not go in the very first space, you would go in the second space. If it doesn't tell you anything, we're going to go in the first space. So for this one I'm going to go in the first space. So again I wrap around, I follow my turning chain down, and that's the hole that I'm going to go into. And again, I'm going under both loops. And like I said with the single crochet, unless the pattern tells you specifically go through the front loops or go through the back loops, it's assumed that you go through both loops. We're going to do this last one, and then we're going to count to make sure we have 9. We do not count the turning chain unless the pattern tells you to. And we have 9. So now we chain 2 again, and we turn, and then it's the same with the single crochet and the half double. If you want to crochet in the back loop. Again, we wrap around and then go from kind of top to back into that loop, pull up a loop, wrap around 2, wrap around 2. If you wanted to go into the front loop, again we wrap around, and then from the bottom up is how you go into just that front loop. And then you continue all the way across. Again, if you make a mistake, just take your hook out and then unwind, put your hook back in, and you're ready to go. So you really want to make sure until you get the hang of it that you are counting, and you want to make sure you have the same number of stitches and that your work doesn't start to lean in. And that is how you do the double crochet.